And welcome once again to Living in the 21st Century. Joining me today is Harry Zhou, serial entrepreneur, concert producer and CEO of Webstar Educational Group. Also joining is Corey Pastoro, world acclaimed accordionist, and Tiffany Zhao, high schooler, multi-talented in flute, piano, guitar, drum, and singing. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a pleasure to have you on today.
Well, thank you very much, Eric.
Okay, so Harry, I want to begin with you. Tell me a little bit about yourself. I can see that you're well seasoned and out there in the world of music and very ambitious also. So educate the public, tell a little bit about yourself.
Okay, yeah, thank you, Eric. I used to be a serial entrepreneur for internet business, but my real interest is in music. When I was young, I played accordion for many years, so about 15 years. That's why I like Corey's performance so much, because I play accordion before. Yeah. So in the last 8 years, we have done the music training business and also master classes, introduce Western music to China, and also introduce Chinese musician to US, because I live both countries. So recent years after pandemic, we have produced a series concerts. We call it a 4-season concerts, once a quarter, and we have done for about 3 years. And Corey is our guest for a couple times already, and this is fantastic, and that's my interest. I like it so much. Okay. And also at the same time, I have met with so many talented, wonderful people, musicians like Corey.
Okay, great, excellent. Before we go into more details on your upcoming event, I'm going to ask Corey to introduce himself a little bit more and tell us about what you do.
Yes, well, thank you. I'm just trying to make the accordion cool as it once was back in America. In China, it's very different stories, actually. In China versus America, the accordion was so huge in America up until the early 60s, and then a little thing called rock and roll came along, and that was the end of the accordion. Where in China, the accordion continues to get bigger and bigger. And a lot of the world championships now, where we have the world championships, it moves every year like the Olympics. There's more and more Chinese contestants, so it's kind of interesting. Wow. How that is. But me and being the main guy in America to play accordion, I play all over the world, but certainly all over the country. Some people may have even seen me. I played the national anthem to open the election in Dixville Notch, New Hampshire, where the first votes are counted. That was a great honor to do that. But I play all kinds of different music. I'm more known as a jazz guy, I guess, but I certainly started with classical. As many musicians do. You start with many years of classical training, and just playing anything. And I play electric accordion. For people that don't know, electric accordion exists. It's been around for a long time, and you can play anything on it. I can even be like a DJ. You don't need a DJ. I can literally sound like that. So anything from Tchaikovsky to Skrillex or something.
Beautiful. So Tiffany, you're the multi-talented one here. You're into drums, flute, you're singing, you're into so many things, and guitar, etc. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, so I started my music journey around when I was 5. I started with piano. That was the very first instrument that I ever played, and I had a lot of fun with it. And that was like my reason for everything I was able to learn in the future. So I'm very happy that I started with piano. And then starting in 4th grade, I started playing flute, because that was when I was still going to school in Beijing. And then the traffic was really bad. Going to school and back home, the drive was about 2.5 hours. So I wanted to play an instrument that I could practice in the car. So flute was the best option. And then during the pandemic, I finally was able to learn how to play the guitar, which is something that I've always wanted to learn but never had the opportunity to. So yeah, and then with other instruments, like I also picked up along the way. And I'm just really grateful because with all of these instruments, I think they can become the tool for me to do composing because I've also started doing composing for the past 4 years. And then I compose a variety of things. Classical is where I started with because that's like where my comfort zone is. But I also recently started writing some songs about high school life with my friends. A lot of my friends are all students who play like saxophone. I have singer friends, so I'm really excited to be able to perform this song with my friends, possibly at school. Yeah.
Beautiful. Harry, to get back to you, I found that recently, earlier this year, I would interview a professor. I can't remember what state she's from, but she's Chinese, and she's also blending the musical way of music and life with the Chinese music. I see that there's a mixture gradually coming along where you have the Chinese culture and the American culture in music blending and exchanging ideas and so forth, making a more enriched culture for both nations to understand. Would you love to share a little bit on that?
Yeah, that's definitely. That's we call it a fusion music. It's combined different culture background and for music to create something new. And I think we have one very talented pianist from Berkeley. He's a professor of pianist at Berkeley. We had produced a solo concert for him. It's purely improvised Chinese music. So in China, not many musicians improvise music. They all, performed classically by the scores. But he can improvise, any music. So that's a special skills. So this kind of, new things, new music, it's something I like. I like to, produce more. This is can combine Chinese culture, Chinese music to Western music together and create something new. This is a very interesting topic, area we can explore. We can explore more for this. And Corey also has some experience for this.
Beautiful. I'm going to speak a little bit on your upcoming event. Could you tell us a little bit about that? And then we'll look through the history more of Chinese music, American music, business-wise, etc.
Yeah, on January 18, 2025, we are going to have our New Year concerts. And for this concert, there's something special because we formed a new symphony orchestra, all by professional musicians, strings, percussion, the brass, and also the conductor, Mr. Jorge Soto. He was the assistant conductor at BSO before, and also he is the conductor for United Nations Symphony Orchestra. And this is our event. I expect so much. It will be wonderful. We're going to play some very classical music like Strauss, some opera music, and also we have some very talented musicians will perform vocals, and also choral will play some very famous accordion music. And Tiffany will join us too. She will perform Broadway songs. That's it's exciting. This is for the New Year concerts we have done for 3 years. So we're going to have the New Year concert every year in the future.
That's beautiful. Is this going to be a combination of Chinese Americans, mixed culture? How diversified would it be? This New Year concert would be.
Yeah, this concert, it's we will have some is classical music by the symphony orchestra, and also symphony orchestra. They will play some Chinese music too, very popular Chinese music in China. Almost everyone knows it, like my motherland. And also we have like a Ukrainian music. It's called a Ukrainian march, and there's all kind of music. The Boston International Symphony Orchestra. The mission is to unite people through music. We have musicians from different background, different cultural background. So that's our mission. We like to promote different cultures and combine everything, all the people together. So that's something I like to do.
Excellent. So Corey, tell me, I want to ask you this question. In terms of progression for musicians, classical music and so forth, make a comfortable and satisfactory living here in the United States of America, what the vision is like for younger people like Tiffany, etc. I ask this question because I know that there are folks who leave United States and gone to Germany where they are paying salaries handsomely for classical and opera singers and so forth. To me, I think that opera and classical United States of America were really good at this back in the 60s and so forth, and they found that during the past 4 or 5 decades that there was a slowdown in classical music and even composers right here in the United States of America. Is this now a move to rebuild and reestablish the foundation of classical music in orchestras and so forth in the United States like it was before? Or what is your opinion on this?
Well, I mean, the problem of, as I would call it, advanced music not being kind of accepted as a great thing to listen to. I mean, this is affecting many genres of music. I go to the Grammys every year, and I'll be going in about 6 weeks in LA. And now even rock music has been dethroned to be in the first part of the Grammys, which are not televised, with the rest of us, classical musicians, jazz musicians, world music musicians. Rock has now been dethroned where they hang out with us because rock is no longer popular enough. It's pretty much a consolidation of now you're down to pop, rap, and country, and that's it. And of course, those genres are incredibly simple genres of music. This is not Stravinsky. This is not Keith Jarrett and Duke Ellington. This is really simple stuff. And so it's a problem that's kind of encompassing a lot of areas. And I don't think we've turned the corner yet as someone that's in the business. We haven't turned that corner where, okay, we're going to start now going back to listening to more advanced forms of music. It just hasn't happened because kind of the pop world, especially with their 4-chord situation, still has a stranglehold. Especially, you got Taylor Swift being by far the most famous musician in the world, and God, her music is down to about 2 chords now. But that's a whole other discussion. Europe has, as you mentioned, yes, always been, and even jazz musicians back in the 50s and 60s started moving to France because France was bigger into that. And today Japan is very big with jazz. You go to Japan, you're like a hero. Oh, American jazz musician, Where in America, it's like, jazz musician. So it is a problem. Maybe Harry with these concerts in Boston can reignite something because certainly China has always been very pro classical music. I mean, it's just, you see these kids come out of China. Where I went to school, New England Conservatory of Music in Boston, and half the school was Asian, and most of those were Chinese. And they all came and they were incredibly good. Like at 8 years old, they were already playing so well. And it's like, why don't we have this in America where we're pushing young kids to not worry about playing video games, but actually playing a Mozart concerto? And it used to be like this in America, as you mentioned. In fact, the piano accordion that I play, we call it the piano accordion, which is most prominent in America and Canada. That was created for the American market. All accordions are mostly made in Italy, one town in Italy. And the piano accordion was made for America because most rich people in America 100, 125 years ago had pianos, and they were having their kids learn all these great piano pieces. So the Italian accordion company said, I got an idea to sell more accordions. Let's put a piano on the right side. And that wouldn't happen today. So, we haven't reached that turning corner yet, and it's difficult. Luckily, I play a weird instrument, in America, accordion, so I can have a career flying around doing this. But it's very hard if you're playing other instruments to be able to make a career doing this.
Absolutely. Tiffany, I'm going to get back to you in a few minutes, but I want to speak to Harry again. In America, classical music, operas, that was like the foundation of music before we had rock and roll and pop and rap music and all this kind of music. That was the foundation of music, not only in America, but Russia, France, Germany, England, China, Japan. That was like the foundation of music. And I said that to state this point. I think it should be easily revigorated from the standpoint that if you look at Berkeley and College of Music and all these other places that teaches music, there are hundreds and thousands of students who are into music on a serious level, who are doing their degrees in music. And I believe that after they would have accomplished their goals, that they're looking to come out and make some living for themselves. And I'm only speaking from this standpoint because with young people like Tiffany, she's going to have her goal set on becoming an outstanding musician. And obviously would want to make a good career out of it and take it to a new level and new heights. So I think it's people like you, Harry, who know how to reestablish that foundation in terms of music here in the United States. To you.
Yeah, definitely the classical music is the foundation for music development in history. Even now it's beautiful to listen classical music, symphony, chamber music. It's very interesting, But for younger generation, that's a little bit boring. It's like for science. If you study mathematics, physics, I used to be a physicist. It's really hard. It's boring unless you are interested. But now, the science developed to like AI, computer science. That's fun, It's younger people like that, and they can play with it. And for music, it's like similar. It's a little bit similar, like Corey mentioned, the classical music degree and also even jazz is belong to now classified as classical music, and the pop, the R&B, those kind of popular music is the mainstream. So so it's natural for the development of music. I always encourage my students to build the foundation by playing classical music. But if you really want to develop your career in music, then you can easily play contemporary music, like go to Berkeley. I have many students, like Tiffany is one of my very talented students, study music. And, my students who applied to Berkeley, 100% get accepted. Because what? Because the foundation is good. They have built their music skills, very solid. So that's much easier for them to pursue, to explore the new music, like contemporary or fusion music. Some of my students now, they get started to improvise music. In China, used to be nobody improvise. You have to follow the scores to play. No mistake, right? Absolutely. But now you can, after you have the skills, you can, perform as whatever you like, whatever in your mind. You just express your ideas, your feelings into the music. That's I think that's the real part, we should appreciate, for music development.
Absolutely. And Tiffany, what is your expectations and your future goals in terms of pursuing this career as a musician? Where do you see yourself probably in the next 5-10 years from now?
Yeah, so I think now, with obviously technology also advancing, I think it's very inevitable for the future music industry to have things to do with technology and potentially AI. There are, I think, a few different apps, like a few different platforms where you can create songs using AI. I've seen this done, like some of my classmates have done this. And I think the issue with that now is because it's purely an algorithm. It sounds very like you can't feel like the heart within the music, which is the issue with, I think, some of the pop songs or some of the songs created by modern musicians, is that it's following a pattern, it's following a formula, that everything just sounds the same. And I hope that with concerts like Dr. Drew's, it can ignite more of the younger generation, like me, for students who are interested in music, or for students who have been trained to both perform and write music that are original and that you can feel their passion for music. And for me personally, in high school now, I spend about 12 hours every week doing music. I also recently started learning the Chinese flute, which is also very important to me because I feel like I've connected with a part of my roots, with a part of my culture. Since I've always done Chinese martial arts, having this skill to be able to play Chinese flute makes me feel even more connected with where I'm from. And yeah, so in high school, I spend my time doing a lot of music, and in the future, I can still see myself, whether if I go to a music school or if I don't. I think it'll always be a part of me because I use music to express my thoughts. I use music to I use music to fight for what I think. Like recently, I've written an opera piece that is anti-war. In the opera piece, the story is about my grandma who was born during World War II, where she suffered a lot. And I've always, because I've also gone to schools with a very diverse background. I have friends who are from Ukraine, and very unfortunately, for the past 2 years, we all know the Ukraine-Russian war, and that has affected her a lot. I've just seen a lot of people and a lot of things happening that are causing.
Yeah, that's a quick question. Do you think, because you mentioned earlier artificial intelligence, do you think AI has a negative impact on the value of music today, or is it adding to the value of music today?
I think, in my opinion, if used right, it can definitely add value because it can help people who are not professionally trained, but who would still like to write music, to express themselves, to create music. However, I don't think that artificial intelligence can be able to replace musicians, because the musicians are the ones who are like genuinely passionate in these instruments or in writing music. So I think it has benefits and, disadvantages.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I can add a comment for this.
Sure.
It's like AI. It's to music. It's like technology for recording music. before. All musicians love to perform live concert like Corey, right? But in the technology can keep the sound, can keep the music for 100 years, right? So that's a good part. But the definitely the negative part is less people go to concert. That's but then there's good bad things. But we can't stop it. That's the advancement for history, for technologies.
Okay, so we're coming down to the next 3 minutes. So within the next minute and a half, Harry, just remind the public about the upcoming event and where they can go get tickets, how they can connect to you, etc. This is like more like selling yourself right now to the public.
Yeah, thank you. We welcome all the audiences to come to the concert. It's January 18 in the evening, 6:30, and at Carey Hall in Lexington. So this is a great concert. Definitely you'll love it. We have so many talented, very renowned musicians so perform for this. It's a combination of different kind of music. This classical, contemporary, Western, Oriental music. So definitely this is a music feast you're going to love. So we welcome, and you can come to the website. It's called even you search V-Star 2025 New Year concert at Eventbrite. You can find the ticket purchasing. So it's we offer very discounted ticket, even free to senior people. That's something we like to do.
Excellent. Well, Corey, anything you want to add in these next few seconds?
I mean, I could just say on the AI situation, I think, yes,